So on this mic muted day, hi friends, welcome back to Live at the Roxy. Sometimes it just takes an extra minute to get started. I'm not here for that long tonight because I just did my Pilates and I need to get some protein in my system, and your girl is hungry, but I will be here for, I'd say probably like half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. I got blue light glasses for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I feel like my eyes are being very much so affected by the amount of screen time I have. Number two, because I went to the Severance event and my friend Jess Lucero had her glasses on. They weren't blue light glasses, but they were these gorgeous designer Miu Miu glasses. And I like the shape of them, and I never wear glasses this shape. And people were being kind to me in the photos saying that they like the glasses. And I was like, oh, so maybe I'll get these shape for blue light glasses. And so, yeah, I like that people liked them. And I've been looking for a pair of blue light glasses. I usually get really big ones, but we'll see if they help at all. I don't like that you can see the ring in it. And I also can't wear them to Real Rejects because of the reflection. So I don't know that they're actually going to work often in public or on camera, but in my normal life when texting or doing stuff, I feel like it'll be good to start to wear them. So those are the thoughts on that. That is a full 2 minutes at the top about my blue light glasses. Very important stuff, might I add. Very important stuff. So did any of you guys know, or did any of you guys watch the doc on Netflix about The Biggest Loser? Curious. I didn't know this was coming out. I had not checked in on The Biggest Loser in, so many years since I watched it with my mom growing up. We used to watch The Biggest Loser every single episode. And we loved the show. We loved how moved and elated the contestants seemed. It seemed like this was really changing a lot of people's lives. Well, I really haven't thought about it since. And then this week, one of the number one shows today, as of today, it is the number one show on Netflix, at least in the United States. And it's called Fit for TV, the reality of The Biggest Loser. Did any of you watch this doc? And do any of you guys even remember the show Biggest Loser? Oh, I got bit by something. Oh, the back of my leg is so itchy. So for those of you guys who do not remember, it was a competition show about people who were, I don't actually know whether all of them were considered at the time morbidly obese. I believe that's what the show posed it as, but I don't really know what that term from a doctor stamp means. But it was with Bob Harper, is that his name? And Jillian Michaels as the fitness coaches who were there to try to get these contestants to lose the most amount of weight possible, or body percentage, based on how much they weighed. Oh my God, what bit me? Based on how much they weighed and how much they lost. And they would weigh in on these scales, and they were competing in teams, and then they were competing individually. And the person who lost the most won The Biggest Loser. And I believe there was a cash prize. And again, I haven't thought about that show in years. But then this doc came out. And then I heard that I believe Jillian Michaels might be suing Netflix, or she slammed them for this. I'm not sure which one. I have to look up. I saw a couple of different tweets about this, and Twitter is not reliable, so we need to look it up together. But I watched the 3-part doc, and I was floored. Do you ever have a paradigm completely crash and you're like, wait a second, was this not a helpful show? Was this actually a really bad show? And I'm still not exactly sure after watching this doc where I fall on it, but it was so weird to have a show that I grew up watching every week, thinking that this show is useful and helpful, and the contestants are grateful for being on there. And then to watch this doc where, come to find out, maybe not. maybe this show was vicious. Maybe this show was the contestants hated it. Maybe it didn't even fucking work. Maybe it made them worse off. Maybe it was all these things, which I will get into in today's episode. And I was like, what was I a part of? But just by watching it as a kid with my mom, thinking that we were watching like a legitimate, helpful transformation show. So I have some thoughts on that. I'm curious if that's ever happened to you guys either, where you thought one thing and then years later you look back and you're like, wait a second. Was I not old enough to realize, maybe not just age, but like the period of life that we were in, what we were exactly watching? So I want to talk about that doc and The Biggest Loser. I also have other things I want to talk about. There was new casting for Spider-Man, which I'm very excited about and kind of has to do with what I did this weekend. And then you guys know I had another, I'm not saying I'm not a Disney adult anymore. Listen, I don't think I am a Disney adult, but like I'm not mad at it if somebody would call me that, because Disney really is to me the happiest place on earth. And I was invited again by my friends, and I actually got to stay at one of the hotels, and it was like the sickest experience. And oh my God, this is so itchy. I could talk to you guys about that. And other than that, Streamlabs in. It's the Wednesday show. We do all different things. We talk about what you want to talk about, what I want to talk about, what we want to talk about. Questions, comments, concerns. Ask me whatever you want. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. As I said, probably not here forever. I do have some food coming through. Let's see. What time is that food going to get here? Because I got to give them a pin at the door now because my food got lost going to Grammy's when I was ordering her food, and somebody took it. And because of that, now I have to meet them at the door with a pin, which makes sense. So Streamlabs in before I get out of here. Did the blue light glasses ever make it harder for you guys to concentrate? I'm like having a hard time, and they don't seem blurry, but it's like, maybe it's just because something on my temples, but I'm used to wearing glasses, like sunglasses. So I don't know. But it doesn't really feel to be blocking the blue light. Although, would I know if it was? Does anybody wear blue light glasses, and do they work? Does it help at all? Let's see. No, it's not seeming like it's helping. If anything, it's seeming like it's kind of making it harder to see. Confusing. Let me know, you blue light peeps. All right. So let's break down. It doesn't seem like any of you guys watched this doc, which is totally fine. I think that the doc was extremely well done, but I don't know that it really had a point of view, which is always interesting in a doc. It's probably the right way to do a doc, right? It's just to share the facts and share the people who are part of it, their opinions and thoughts and whatnot on it. But this was a 3-part episode in which we brought on a ton of past contestants, and come to find out, almost every single one of them put on after the show, and people lost triple digits on the show. Some people lost 100, 200 pounds on the show. People came out of the show and they put back all the weight, a vast majority of them. And I guess there was a New York Times article several years ago, which I completely missed, about how being on the show completely destroyed their metabolisms, which some of the contestants feel like is accurate. Some of them don't. There was also a lot of contestants who felt like the show was humiliating on purpose. And then they started showing clips that I forgot about. Like, in order to lose weight, one of the exercises was like you picking up fake donuts with your mouth and running them around and shit like that. There was also exercises where like they would test you by being like, the more calories you eat today, the more like if you win, you can see your families. But then they would lose at the weigh-in or whatever. There was a lot of stuff I didn't remember about the show that seems really vicious and unnecessary. They also had on the producers of the show, and the producers who were talking about it were like, yeah, but it was a TV show, so we had to keep it entertaining. And it's like, it's more of a question on society sometimes. It's like, is it society's fault or producers' fault when society watches something, right? Like, is it society's fault for being entertained by things that are fucked up? Or is it producers' fault for putting that in front of us and then people being curious? Again, I don't even remember a lot of that happening. One woman went to the hospital and then came right back on the show. There's a doctor on the show who the fitness expert Jillian and Bob would not even communicate with because they like didn't want to hear what he had to say. Let's see what's going on with Jillian Michaels now. Jillian Michaels apparently, so she is the only one who was not in the doc. Bob was in the doc, producers were in the doc, contestants were in the doc, journalists were in the doc, but Jillian Michaels was not in the doc and apparently is not happy about this. Another thing that happened in the doc is that Jillian Michaels got upset. Bob, what I call him, Bob Barker, Bob Harper was in the doc. He was like, yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Jillian Michaels. We were close friends on the show. And then I had a heart attack. And she was the only person from production who did not reach out to me. And he was like, so that was really odd. That is really odd. I am curious what happened there. But let's see. USA Today did an article. Jillian Michaels breaks silence on the Biggest Loser Netflix doc. Co-star Bob Harper. Here is what it says. Jillian Michaels is slamming Netflix's docuseries about The Biggest Loser and is showing the receipts to back it up. Okay, let's see what happened. Celebrity fitness trainer took to Instagram on August 19th in a series of posts to slam claims from Fit for TV, the reality of The Biggest Loser. By the way, the show also accused her of giving diet pills, caffeine pills, to the contestants, which I guess on the show was proven. And she was like, yeah, so what about it? Caffeine pills are good for you. Like, it's better for you than coffee or something. Celebrity fitness trainer took to Instagram, which gave former fans a second course on the small moments and big missteps from NBC's 18-season competition series that aired from 2004 to 2016. Something that was also, though, very scary about this was that I think the stat was in 2004, the number of the percentage of obese people in the United States was like 35, and in 2024 it's 45%, which is a staggering number. There were some health experts who were on the show who were like, I wish that this would be referred to as it is, as a medical issue, which being being the size of a lot of the contestants that were on the show, I'd have to think most of them where they start is a medical condition and problem and extremely bad for your health, according to the doctors, which makes sense. Though many lost weight throughout the series, the tactic at times posed a risk to the participants and their esteem. Tracy Ukrich suffered a near-death experience. She was in the doc. During a challenge to kick off season 8, Michaels supplied some contestants with caffeine. Jillian Michaels supplied some contestants with caffeine pills, though caffeine was banned by the show's physician, Robert Huizenga. He was on the show in the doc as well. And competitors were asked to participate in sometimes humiliating temptation challenges. They were enticed with high-calorie treats or building towers made of bread using their mouths. I told you guys about that, which I don't remember, but that sounds batshit. In a series of lengthy statements, Michaels took aim at a range of allegations about her, including one that she said, "You're going to make me a millionaire," to a contestant. They said in the doc that after a contestant won, she said, "You just made me a millionaire." Plied contestants with caffeine pills and encouraged caloric restrictions. Okay, this is a quote from Jillian. Quote, "With respect to the allegation that I restricted contestants from eating enough calories, I have an example of a direct written correspondence with a contestant while she was home for the holidays during filming, in which I explicitly instructed her to consume 1,600 calories per day," end quote, Michael said in one Instagram caption. In the doc, people claimed that they were suggesting 800 calories a day. Jillian Michaels continued, quote, "Additionally, the two other emails posted here are standard communications with the show producers and medical staff, emphasizing the ongoing priority of ensuring contestants were adequately nourished and the need to provide a steady supply of fresh food in the Biggest Loser house to guarantee ready access to calories," end quote. Michaels, who said that, quote, "caffeine was never banned," end quote, on the show, added that the medical advisor, Dr. Robert Huizenga, quote, "did approve caffeine pills on many seasons of Biggest Loser," end quote. In the doc, he said he never did. The trainer turned conservative commentator added that Bob Harper, quote, "Bob Harper not only knew about the caffeine pills, the Stackers fat burners were actually his suggestion. I wanted to use my brand instead because they were cleaner and had no more than 200 milligrams of caffeine," end quote. Both Harper and Huizenga appeared in the documentary, while Michaels did not. On social media, Michaels also spoke about her rampant speculation surrounding her relationship with former co-star Harper. In a screenshot shared in one carousel, Michaels said, quote, "The last image is my second to last text ever with Bob Harper. Take from it what you will," end quote. The message from Michaels to Harper allegedly said, quote, "I really think it's parentheses bad and parentheses of you to not even respond to my texts. It's this kind of thing that always makes me so disappointed in our relationship," end quote. Her comments raised new questions about her relationship with Harper after years of rift rumors. In February 2017, Harper suffered a heart attack during a workout in New York City. He told TMZ at the time that after he collapsed at the gym, a doctor who was there performed CPR on him. Oh no, I hate when the articles go back to the top of the page. What happened after the CPR? What happened after the CPR? CPR on him. Okay. In a recent interview with Guardian, Harper claimed that while many of his Biggest Losers colleagues reached out to him after medical ordeal, Michaels notably did not. Quote, "We weren't besties, but we were partners on a television show for a very long time," Harper told the outlet, adding that the silence spoke volumes to me. And he said that in the doc as well. What do you guys think? It's kind of wild, kind of a lot. Listen, Linda. Shocking. That like it just never even crossed my mind that that show might have not aged well or whatever it is. There seem to be some contestants who are still grateful for the show, and even one of them who named their kid Harper after Bob Harper because she was so grateful for him and what he did. But this was also the era of like Randy, Paula, and Simon, where like Simon was, a lot of people in Biggest Loser, when they were talking about it, they were like, they were degrading us. And it's like, that kind of was reality competition show at the time, just in general. In the streamlabs.com/Stryer, Lloyd Nance says, "Team Stryer, thank you, Lloyd." John Boyes says, "Are you hyped for Avatar Land? Cool with losing Monsters, Inc.?" Yeah, it's always hard when things go. Like, I miss Tower of Terror. I miss it being Twilight Zone, but I love Guardians. So things come and they go, and they come and they go, and they come if they're lucky. Thanks, John Bose. RQMDSMD in the house. Yes, with that big support. Just sending in some support. I've had mixed results with the blue light glasses. Don't use them anymore. Just my own experience. Okay, so, but is there negatives to them? Because, like, why is it kind of harder to see right now? It's like making everything a little muted. Maybe that's just what it does. Like, when I lift it, my computer screen looks one color. When I put them down, it looks like almost gray. Austin Kramer in the house. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer. Just showing love. Have you seen any clips from Barstool's new TikTok show, Barstool Beach House? It's kind of nuts. No, I haven't. I have such a love-hate relationship with Barstool because, and relax for a second before anybody jumps down my throat, because I understand a lot of you guys hate Barstool, and I get it. I grew up reading Barstool starting when I was 13 years old. Like, I loved it. I loved the Smoke Show of the Day. I loved when they added Guess That Ass. I loved all of their actual Barstool Sports content. It was fun to read. I would go to Barstool Sports every day when it was a Boston thing. It was like, it felt like it was ours. And then I also think to this day, there's been some really cool things to come out of Barstool, right? Like Call Her Daddy, obviously. Not that came out of Barstool, but that popularized Call Her Daddy. Some of the social media stuff is really funny. KFC Kevin Clancy, who is a very controversial figure, and as my brother always reminds me, has said borderline extremely offensive things to my community, and also apparently cheated on his pregnant wife. So those things are not cool. But at the same time, he keeps me up to date with a lot of different social things that, like, he finds the best videos and talks about the most interesting things. That doesn't make him a good person. It does mean that he's highly entertaining, though. Dave Portnoy, extremely entertaining to sometimes horrific. Obviously, him and I voted completely different ways. Barstool has been accused of being sexist, racist, all of the different things. And I can't deny any of the ways that people feel. I feel the way that they do too. But I do like some of what Barstool has done at some points in life. All of that to say, I haven't checked out the TikTok show because I don't tend to go out of my way now to look for Barstool content. But when it pops up, I usually find it funny or entertaining. So if it pops up for me, maybe I shall check it out. I don't know that I'm going to search for it, Austin, but I haven't stumbled across any of the clips yet. Thank you for letting me know, though. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStrider, super chat in. Let's go to the super chat. Sexy Andrew says, Happy Wednesday, the most beautiful woman with glasses, Roxy. Thank you. So am I the most beautiful woman with glasses? Or am I the most beautiful woman with glasses? It's a very important distinction. Let me check on my food to make sure I didn't miss giving them the pin. Got to make sure that I don't mess this up again. Oh, he has a stop along the way. Okay, then I haven't missed it. Thanks, Sexy Andrew. James Oko 963M2G. Hi, Roxy. Glasses look nice. Show always seems somewhat exploitative, like so much reality TV, but maybe help some. I don't know. I know that. I know. I hope Grammy had a nice birthday. She looked great on Instagram pics. She did. We went to Santa Monica Seafood. We had so much seafood. She immediately ordered a dozen oysters to herself. Then we ended up getting 3 dozen oysters and cioppino, which was like shrimp and mussels and clams and whitefish and all this stuff. And then it's also Santa Monica Seafood, if you've never been, which I'm guessing most of you haven't. It's also a seafood restaurant where you can take home raw fish. So I bought her this lobster patty that was supposed to be bomb. It was very expensive. And I was like, oh, great, you can have this for lunch tomorrow. And I bought her 2 different matching sets because she's been wanting more clothes, and there were 6 matching sets, and she wanted this new hair product to make her hair thicker, and she needed new hairspray and all this new stuff. So I got her all these things. Okay, let's report back Grammy's response. I said, how is the lobster patty? She said, I hated it. I said, good, I'm so glad I sent you home with it. How is the matching sets? She's like, the pants are very long on me and you're going to need to get them hemmed. Meanwhile, I walked in and she was wearing one of them and it looked amazing on her. And I was like, I love that. She was like, thanks, I just got it. I was like, from me, dog. She was like, yeah, cool. I was like, how's the hairspray? She's like, it's fine. It's hairspray. I'm like, glad I shelled out for that extra. She's a tough critic. I love that woman. But she did have a nice birthday. Darian is leg disabled. Thank you for the Streamlabs. Hey, Rocks. Also, wild handle. Always loved you. Always will. It's so fucking nice. Thank you. So how excited are you for season 3 of The Diplomat? When is it coming? Grammy likes that show too. Bradley fucking Whitford. With this and Fosse Verdon, Deborah Kahn is becoming one of TV's greats. Huh. I didn't actually know. Let's see. Let me see. Hold please, while I process and do some Googling. Deborah Kahn. Wow. Did both the Diplomat and Fosse Verdon? You learn something new every day. I didn't know. Now I know. Darian, thank you for the info. Love that. Diplomat's not coming back till October. Okay. Well, that's pretty soon. A lot of good TV on right now. We can talk more about it Sunday, but I am obsessed with Love Island UK. I know I just said good TV and that's what I went with, but so sue me. Absolutely love it. I thought this doc, Fit for TV, was really interesting. You guys are going to get Peacemaker tomorrow. I've already seen the first few episodes and I like it a lot. I think I'm going to drop a review of mine for it tomorrow on Real Rejects socials. I think the best special of the year dropped with Mark Maron's Panicked. I thought that special was just like fantastic. I'm hoping Wednesday picks up in September and that we really like the back half. Platonic, the episode this week was great. I'm one behind on Chief of War, but I'm liking that. Let's see, what else am I watching right now? Let me go to my TV. Bachelor in Paradise turning into this competition is so confusing because the contestants don't even get it. And they're like, wait, we're here for love. What? I haven't watched The Summer I Turned Pretty this week yet. So don't even. Mel, I see you. Don't even. Yeah, so some good stuff. I'll talk more about it Sunday. Yeah, Mark Maron's special was so good. What I did mention earlier, and in case you're coming in late, is that I'm not going to be here that long because I have some food coming. It says that it's going to be here in 5 minutes, so I will probably stay for about 5 more minutes. So send in any last minute streamlabs.com/RoxyStryer. I did want to mention that if you're as diehard of a Severance fan as I am, then you're stoked that Trammell was just cast in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think that it's so fun when you're a TV fan and you get to see your favorite TV actors make it to the big screen. I know at this day and age, being in movies is not more prestigious than being in television, but still, because of how I came up, I always get excited for TV actors when they get to be in movies, especially big movies. So when I saw him in Mission Impossible, I was so excited because I'm like, that's Milchek. That's everybody's favorite. We love Milchek. Obsessed with Milchek. And so having him be in Mission Impossible was awesome. So now that he's announced for Spider-Man Brand New Day, I just feel, I've never met this person. I was just in the same room with him while I was at the Severance event, but I've never met him. I don't know him. And yet I feel like attached to TV actors, the people who come up in television way more than I feel attached to movie actors. So especially when somebody crosses over with my favorite nerddoms and he's going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, it's like, that's cool. I don't think they announced who he's going to be. Does anybody care about this? And does anybody have theories? Let's see what they did say about it. I just saw it on my THR today from a few hours ago. Okay. Variety says Trammell Tillman joins Spider-Man Brand New Day. He's Emmy nominated. Details on his character in the web-slinging adventure remain under wraps, but he'll join Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Zendaya's MJ. Yeah, you guys know the rest of the cast. This is exciting. I love him. He's amazing in Severance. Feel like he was even better in second season. Maybe one of the only ones that was more talked about in season 2 than he was in season 1. So yeah, no, I would eat with you guys. I have no problem with eating with you guys, but I told you I have to go to the door and give the code in order to get my food, and I have to go let them in. So it's like a whole ordeal to then go get it and all this stuff. So, I'm still here for a few more minutes, and then I'll make it work. But I've been here for half an hour already, and I gave you guys the warning at the top. So there's that. Get in your last minute questions. I will stay to answer them. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Leonard Kim in the house. Leonard Kim in the house. How come today I'm saying in the house? Corey in the house. I could have saved this for Sunday's show, but nah. Exactly, Leonard. I recommend checking out Are You My First and Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. I know he's not awesome, but what do you think of Gavin Newsom's hilarious trolling lately? Digging the glasses, one of us. Okay, thank you for the Rex. I know it's so crazy because I have spent since COVID years sitting here being like, I can't stand two-faced mofo Gavin. He pissed me off with how he handled COVID. And then as he started to really, even before the ICE raids, really take a stance on immigration out loud, very boldly. I remember we were still working on World Girls, and one day I was sitting with Dorina and Steph. We were getting tacos, and Dee was like, I got to give it to him. He is being ballsy about this. And I was like, oh, I really need to look into this. And I did. And I was like, oh, okay. And then now he is literally as big of a troll as Trump. He's just trolling for the Democrats. And so that's more aligned with my viewpoints. So I don't know. I've always heard my whole life, and I'm sure you guys have too, you don't fight fire with fire. But we attempted to fight fire with water, literally in the LA fires, and figuratively with losing to Donald Trump multiple times. And now I'm like, maybe you do have to fucking fight fire with fire. What do I know? Would I rather Gavin Newsom be president than Donald Trump? Yeah, obviously. I mean, if you watch the show, you know my answer to that. So it's kind of hilarious. It's also very scary and sad that that's the state of politics, that that's what we need to do. But sometimes he says shit and I'm just like, you are a fucking hilarious, like, teenage boy with a keyboard. And that's wild. But I'm in his corner. So that's where we're at. Ronnie Deezy in the house. Hello, Queen. Just sending love. Always wondered what your skincare routine is. Every time I see you, whether it be Rejects or show or Christian show, always glowing. Thank you so much. Right now it's sweat, but let's see. I have pimples right now. Can you see? This is my birthmark, but to the left, right here, I have a pimple, which I get there all the time. This one has been here for 1 week and 2 days. I have done my skincare on the show before, but for the most part, I wash my face. I use a toner in the morning. I use one toner, and night I use a different toner. And then I go usually in the morning do vitamin C and then hyaluronic acid and then a moisturizer. And at night, I often will do a retinol or exfoliant. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so I suppose that answered that. Thank you for asking. And in the morning, I do, on top of my sunscreen, I do a tinted moisturizer. Sorry, a tinted SPF to protect from that sun. Austin Kramer in the house. That same issue with Barstool, I read some other stuff and I find it entertaining, but they are problematic. Sometimes I was just flipping through TikTok and landed on the show. I found myself watching multiple clips. Yeah, I end up like that all the time with Barstool. It's like, this is where I'm not always my best self. Sometimes they are problematic and sometimes they are hilarious. So there's that. Shane in the house. Have you been doing any better with the burnout? You talked about a couple of streams ago. Well, to be honest, I talked about burnout, but I didn't feel burnt out. I just was saying, what can I do so that I don't burn out? Because I can feel that I'm doing, I don't want to say too much, but so much that I fear burnout. Because people say like, you can't do that much or you'll burn out, but I haven't burnt out, even though sometimes I get tired and sometimes I get overwhelmed and all that. To me, burnout is like out, which is not what I'm feeling. I'm feeling really excited and energized to work these days and looking forward to that next thing, like whether it's booking something with my next movie, like just working. Brush them. Do your daily brush. Any final things before I get out of here, my friends, as I see that I'm going to have to go get this door. Grateful for you guys for being here. And I guess on that note, thank you to Andrew and Darian and James in the super chat, and to Shane and Leonard and Ronnie and Austin and RQMDS and Dean and John Boys and Leonard, and you guys rock. Thank you to everybody. Stay safe, stay sane. Put down the toilet seat and lid. We don't want those flumes. Don't trend with the Holocaust. Justice for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice, forever in the rainbow. We love you. We stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen, and golden sparkles for the Zen one himself. It was a short one. It was a sweet one. I don't know if it was that sweet. Let me know in the comments. Has a paradigm ever completely dropped for you? Did you watch the Biggest Loser thing? Are you as excited about Trammell being in Brand New Day as I am? What should I be watching to talk about for Sunday? I saw a question in here about my menstrual cycle, and I actually have, I don't want to say updates for you guys, but like thoughts on that will take too long to address right now. But skin and menstrual cycle and all the girly things that all the dudes love to know. But if we want to talk about that on Sunday, somebody remind me. All right. On that note, just refreshing, making sure I didn't miss any of you guys. Thank you for the support. I know it was a short one, but it was driven by you guys, which is cool. how is he Norman Osborn? That would be really just so wild. And so many theories. Okay, I gotta let them in. Hold on. All right. What's up? And later.